tiger on the prowl. I'ma make it go wild. I'm original, and I told you so. I'm a kid in the candy store, with the leather on the denim. I ain't the cure, I'm the venom. If you wanna find me, find the taillight. Something's coming in, you're gonna wanna take a red eye. It's time to go. It's time to go. Get ready. Get ready. Get ready. Don't blink, don't blink. Get ready. Get ready. Get ready. Don't blink, don't blink. I don't wait for nobody. I'm a summer name on the dotty. City lights call my name, drawn to the flame, and I'm feeling kinda naughty. I hit the ground running, step out the door and I'm stunning. Better hold tight cause you know what's going down. I'm setting the pace cause this is my town. So get ready. Get ready. Get ready. Don't blink, don't blink. Get ready. Get ready. Get ready. Don't blink, don't blink. Get ready. Get ready. Get ready. Don't blink, don't blink. Get ready. Get ready. Get ready. Don't blink, don't blink.
What it do, what it did, what it will be. How was that? Keely Dunn of Discord for Creators. Thank you so much for all showing up and appreciate your patience as we got everything running. If you haven't streamed by RTMP key before, you have not lived because it is a blast. Let me tell you, you never know what you're going to get. Oh goodness. It is Tuesday. Doc Rock is away on holiday. He's headed up. He went up the northwest coast and he is going to be visiting with a whole bunch of people, including our fellow LGLer D, who is in the comments today, along with a whole bunch of other people. I really appreciate everybody showing up. Check it out. I'm actually able to bring up some of these comments, which I'm so excited about. Oh my gosh. Oh, I just sound like Michelle Lawrence there. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Was that a good impersonation? There you are. Absolutely. Okay. So today's topic, I was just struck by inspiration after watching a lot of our LGLer friends go through CETA last month. And if you weren't around at that point, I know Mike Shaw TV was asking, what the heck is the challenge and what are y'all talking about? It was Create Every Day in April. And a whole bunch of people did some really, really amazing work throughout that month. And I wanted to bring on somebody to highlight what that process was like and just to put it in a nice big bow and get you thinking about ideas of ways that challenges aren't just for you to get yourself, your creative juices flowing or get yourself not being nervous in front of camera or anything like that. That these can actually be ways that you can grow your business exponentially over a short period of time. So for those of you who don't know, the amazing person that I am about to bring on, Kali of Chocolate Twist Yoga, is just, she's a longtime LGLer in the Drop Squad, and she is a person of power, of love, and of community. And I'm just so excited she's going to come in and talk to us. And I'm just going to get her to tell us all about herself right here. Kali, welcome. How are you?
Oh my goodness. Well, hello. Welcome.
Hi.
Thank you everybody for coming. This is just really wild that I am on Doc Rock's channel with you. This is just fantastic. Hi everybody.
I know, right? Isn't it wild? The two of us, we're just, I should look
It's
this way.
wild. We've taken it over. We have taken it over. We've gotten the keys to the kingdom.
Dang, I know. It's just shocking. So I didn't tell everybody too much about you or listening in the green room, but why don't you tell people who are maybe not as familiar with the LGA community who you are and what brought you into this whole Doc Rockosphere of joy and creativity?
I love that word, Doc Rockosphere. I can't say that 3 times fast, but I love that word.
Yeah.
Well, I'm Kali, and of Chocolate Twist Yoga, chocolatewistyoga.com, and Chocolate Twist Yoga on YouTube. As you might guess, I teach yoga, and the way that I got involved with LGL was obviously, well, probably not obviously, but it was because of COVID. And I was looking for a way to cut my learning curve. How do I get what I do in the studio, in the brick and mortar studio, and how do I get it on a digital platform?
Right.
And I wanted to do it quickly. I wanted to pivot quickly. And one thing led to another, and I landed in the Doc Rockosphere. There we go, the Doc Rockosphere.
Why that popped into my head? I have no idea. I'm so embarrassed.
I don't know, but I think I love that. We should hashtag that Doc Rockosphere. I would have a hard time spelling it. I would probably get it after the first 2 tries, but neither here nor there. That's how I landed here.
Absolutely.
It was interesting because there weren't many people who were doing fitness in the LGL community. So I had to run a lot of the information that was being talked about, discussed. I had to run it through my fitness yoga filter. If we're talking about microphones, obviously this type of table stand is not going to typically work for me for the type of work that I do.
Yeah.
But I also still wanted to deliver a quality product, and I knew that this community, and it's really the community, is why I stuck around, right? Because there are other yoga and fitness communities, but they don't have the same kind of vibe. They don't have the same sense of welcoming, and that was really important for me, and I knew that I needed that in order for me to grow. So that's how I got here.
That's awesome. So did you do any live streaming at all or any video production before you started with LGL, or was that you found it and then you said, oh, this is something that I can do?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And because before COVID happened, and still to this day, I manage a fitness and yoga live stream studio. So I was already familiar with live streaming.
Yeah.
I was already comfortable live streaming. So fortunately, that was not the thing that I had to overcome. Oh my God, it's live streaming and I'm afraid to go live. That wasn't me. Fortunately, that wasn't me. I was already doing it for a couple of years beforehand, So I was doing that, and I also had a super small YouTube channel, kind of playing with things here and there. And if you look on YouTube, you might see me on different channels and platforms. So I'd done a few things. The first thing that I did for the Chocolate Twist Yoga channel was to create a Christmas gift guide. So that was the first thing I did, and that was probably at the end of 2019, right?
Yep. Okay.
And then I'm glad that was there. And then a few months later, then we were into a whole different world.
Yeah.
So I was really doing pre-recorded for a long time, believe it or not, even though I had the background of managing a live stream studio, going live on that platform. I wasn't doing live streaming on my own platform. I did it here and there, maybe once a month, once a week, but then I had a remote producer. So I didn't have my hands in the soil, so to speak, of live streaming, which is why I needed to push myself a little bit more.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a really good point, because I think for those of us, I know there's some people who are investigators and they're the kind of creators who need to research everything and get all their ducks in a row before they start trying stuff. I think you and I are the kind of people who are like, hey, let's try some things, and then we'll start brushing up and improving as we go along, because I had been streaming for a few months before I found LGL, and I didn't even know that Ecamm existed, had a live stream, had a whole community around it. And that was when I started seeing what was possible and all that kind of stuff.
That's such a good point, because I was looking that I needed a software to help me in this journey. And it was actually Justin Brown. He did, it was 2 people. It was Justin Brown and it was also Tom Buck.
Justin you mean Brown my boyfriend, Justin Brown and Tom Buck?
Shh.
No, my boyfriend.
Those guys.
Yeah.
He did a video about comparing all of these different platforms, like Ecamm and a bunch of other things. And when I watched that thing from beginning to end, I was like, okay, so which one is which one is going to be the best?
Yeah.
And he ended up landing on Ecamm, but it wasn't just that he landed on Ecamm is why I went with Ecamm, but it was the why of it. Because some of the other platforms, he said, oh, well, this one, it's kind of looks like it's going to be making some movement in this direction, but Ecamm has this, that, and the third. But here's the trippy thing about it. I still did not know that Ecamm Live had a pre-record function.
Oh,
had
wow.
no idea. Didn't know. And then on top of that, I didn't know that in order to plug this camera in that's taking my camera feed, that I needed this thing called a capture card.
Oof.
I didn't know I needed
Right?
that. And so I stumbled upon Tom Buck, and I was like, oh, that's why my computer is not picking up my camera. I felt like it was the early days of live streaming.
Back in the day.
And I had to find out back in the day, and I had to find out all of these tools.
Yeah.
So, those two guys, and then that's how I landed with Diana Gladney. And she was like, oh yeah, well, she just said it like in passing in one of her streams about doing pre-recorded. Oh, wait a minute. Did she just say I could pre-record? I don't have to use this little doggone thing that I keep sticking into like my camera. And then I was like, oh my God, that is what she said. Let me go through the settings. Let me see what I can find in this Ecamm software that I just purchased.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a matter of like pushing the buttons and like really trying to overcome just going live and getting the content out there. It was a matter of me getting out of my own way, because I knew I had content to share. I knew that I share it, and I know that I teach yoga in a way that's different than anybody else, and knowing that it adds value to people's life. And I knew I just had to get out my way so it can get out there.
Yeah, absolutely. So you weren't camera shy. You weren't afraid of speaking. You've been a teacher for a very, very long time. You've nurtured a community. You know how to connect. It was that the tech was the thing that you wanted to feel more comfortable with as you went along.
Yeah.
And I think for those of us in the community who have been around, we've all been on this journey together. And Kali, it's been so exciting watching you step up your game. And there's that famous not the live stream, but the Drop Squad class, that famous Drop Squad class where you were eaten by a Forza light. Did I get that right? That you disappeared into a matrix of a softbox or something, and then we had to send out a search party. Is that
something like that? There was a search and rescue team involved. Everything turned out okay. There was no blood. Everything worked out right. So there's lights in this, in what Keely's talking about. There's lights in this studio, and I was like trying to I just wanted my stuff to look good, right?
Yeah.
And so I was like doing all this research, and I was like, okay, I think I'm going to have to get this blimp of a lantern to give me the soft cascade of light that I'm looking for. And yeah, so there are screenshots floating out there. I think Mr. Camera Junkie, and he's on the stream, he may have the screenshots. I don't know, but MCJ, don't you release them without my approval. I'm going to tell you that right now.
I'll pay you. I will pay good money for that. There you go.
Yeah, the lighting. Yeah, it was fun. It was a good, and that's the value of having community, right? Because I was able to find this thing on YouTube from another creator, but I wasn't sure if it was something that would work for my needs.
Yeah.
And then being able to like bounce it off of people like you, like Doc. There were a lot of people in the community who were like, yeah, let's do this. In fact, let's spend this day helping you get to getting your studio the way you want it to, right? And and that's what I'm talking about, cutting that learning curve. Like that can't happen without a community. And I know that I can be someone who can be like, oh, I'll just figure it out myself. I'll go over here and just bang my head against the wall. But that isn't like the most efficient way to work, right? So having the community, like, save the day.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think for all of us, it was that creativity and there was it's definitely not competitive. It's not like that, but it's that support of knowing you see what everybody else is doing. And then you feel like, wow, like if Kali can do this, I can do this too. If Kali can use a mirrorless Sony camera and she can get all set up and looking good, well, I think I can do that too. Because I I'm on Kali's vibe. I'm able to do this. And I think that's what I love, is that we're leading each other by example and by hope and demonstration and encouragement. So
Sure.
I've really
Sure.
been
The
enjoying that.
wildfire community is super cool.
Yeah.
Right. It's like when one person catches up, I'm like, oh, she's doing that. Oh, okay. Then, and not only is she doing that, but I can ask her or him or whoever about it, because like they're right there in the Discord, they're right there in the
Yeah.
community. So I can ask and get more information. Mr. Camera Junkie, like he even has document of me crying about a stream deck. Literally crying. I'm like, oh my God, I can't do this. He was like,
Oh no.
I need you to calm down. He said, it's very simple. You can do this. And he
Okay.
like literally took my digital hand and walked me through setting up a stream deck. And now it's just like the simplest thing in the world, But it's because of community that we're able to kind of, ride this wave and ascend and, in our work. So it's pretty cool to be a part of this community.
Yeah, absolutely. And Mike Shaw, it doesn't matter how new or old you are with us, and we are excited that you're here. So you're going to get the benefit of all this, treatment too. So that leads us really nicely into CETA. And for those people who were a part of it, you all know what your own processes were like when you started embarking on the project and all that you went through. I'd like to hear, what was it that really got you thinking, okay, I'm doing this. I'm going to do this CETA. What was the driving force for you?
The driving force was that I had very little time to do it. That was the driving force.
Okay.
Because
That works.
I know that I can go over there and like overthink things. I can be like, oh, let me think of this, let me plan this, let me get into Canva for 2 weeks and develop this and all of those things. But I think I started hearing some whispering about it like it was after the equinox. So it was March 20 something, right? And I was like, oh, every day, every single day. I was like, boom, let me just grab the bull by the horns and do it,
Okay.
And I think because of the challenge of it, because it was something that I had to do right away, is what intrigued me about it, right? But I also knew that I wanted to create an evergreen funnel for my community. I wanted people to identify with the work that I was doing. If they dug what I was doing, I wanted them to be able to work with me more intimately. And I felt like it answered those two things. It pushed me out of my comfort zone. At the same time, it allowed me to create content that would be enduring. So if people found me and they liked what I was doing, that they could work with me more intimately through getting, emails and being able to connect with me more personally.
Okay. Yeah, I love that. Now, you're talking about stepping outside of your comfort sphere. You'd already been doing recorded videos, and you did have some material out. So what was it that was uncomfortable about CETA for you? What did you do differently in it?
What was uncomfortable for me is because before, when I did live streaming, I had a remote producer. Fulgens was doing my remote production. He was all the way, what was it, in Brooklyn? Or wherever, somewhere in New York, literally on the other side of the country. So I didn't have to touch the buttons for that, right? He would be like, okay, Kali, scoot over. Kali, do this. Kali, I'm gonna play the music. Kali, let's go. And
I didn't know that.
Yes.
Oh.
So because of that, and even with my live stream studio that I do, it's a different software, different everything, right? And so this time it required me to do all of that. It required me to be over there on my mat. I had to be over there teaching. And then I needed to keep the brain of, I need to make sure that the folks who are tuning in can see me, they can hear me, they're getting the right angles and all of those things. So that was the thing. And I kept using that as an excuse to not go live, right? Because I was like, well, how I'm going to be doing a sun salutation, how I'm going to be doing the splits, and then also getting a tighter shot, getting a wider shot, how I'm going to be doing all of that, because the folks that I see doing live streaming, they're talking head and they can just push the button, pretty discreetly, right?
Yes.
And so I had to figure that type of thing out. And then this goes back to, I've been, Mr. Camera Junkie, I've been you out a lot here, but I went back to what, the Camera Junkie was teaching me about using the Stream Deck. So I was like, you know what, this big old XL Stream Deck doesn't really work in teaching on a mat. So
Okay.
I was like, wait a minute. I do remember that there is a app that I can put on my phone that I can just like kind of like navigate and run my entire production from my phone. And I was like, when I figured that out, I was like, Ecamm, Stream Deck, and Kajabi, those three pieces right there, they're everything for me in terms of my production and my business. They're everything.
Hit you with a little sound effect.
Yes.
That is really awesome. So you decided for CETA you were going to go live every day for the month. Did you miss any days, or did you nail it? Did you get every day?
I got every single day, and it got easier each day too. At first, there was a moment in there, like right after week 2, I was cruising, and it was okay to cruise, but what I found was that my numbers were cruising too, right?
Oh,
And I was like, okay, let me make this better. What can I do? What is happening here? And so when I say, let me make this better, what I found was that and the numbers that I should say, the numbers that I look at, though I definitely want my YouTube channel to grow. The numbers that I look at the most are the people who sign up for my freebie. So
Right.
the people who want to work more intimately with me, those are the numbers that I check for the most. And the YouTube numbers, they're only important as long as they're giving me new folks, new leads, new people to
Right.
work with, right?
Okay.
So I started noticing that started to back off. And when I noticed that, I said, okay, I have to make these videos more interesting. So that's when I dusted off my my webcam Brio, and I added a second camera, and
Right.
I programmed that into my Stream Deck. And I also changed the introduction. I made it like almost non-existent.
Right.
And so it just started to be like a matter of fine tuning my approach to my live streams,
Yeah.
and just really fine tuning that more and more just to make it as tight as possible. And what I found was that there's definitely a direct relationship between how long viewers will watch a video in its entirety in the live stream and how many of those people actually sign up for my freebie. Right.
Oh,
So the
really?
longer I'm able to get people to absolutely, the longer I was
Okay.
able to get people to like stay on and watch basically the whole thing, the more likely I'm able to convert those people into, they're not customers yet, but convert those people at least into my list,
Yeah.
into my world.
That's
you know?
fantastic that you were able to measure that and you were able to get that direct correlation and really draw a
Yeah.
causal relationship between, yes, my content has been so engaging. I've really got this person wrapped up. We're really connecting here over this live stream. And now they're ready to take the next step and go a little deeper into my world. And that's amazing. So you talked about how CETA was for you also a project with Kajabi and lead generation. So how did you decide you were going to go about that part of it? You were going to go live every day, but what part of it was for the lead generation?
So the way that I create content is all about lead generation. Like every single thing that is on my frontward facing content, my top of funnel, so to speak, is all about lead generation. So what I mean by that is whenever I do a video, I am saying, hey, I have something more interesting for you than what you're getting right here. I have this freebie, or what we call a lead magnet. And if you like this, then you're going to love this lead magnet. This is the type of information, this is the type of classes that I share with my private community. So the lead magnet that I was sharing for the CETA challenge was a deeper, more specific journey. So the challenge that I gave on YouTube was a single pose a day. So the people who signed up for my lead magnet or my freebie, they were invited to participate in a free 7-day yoga journey where I took the poses that they learned in the Yoga Pose a Day challenge and I put them into a little sequence. And I gave it three different paths basically. So if you were new to yoga, you could choose the beginner path. Or if you wanted to do chair yoga, you can choose the chair path, or intermediate advanced. So there was a choose your path journey. And then once they come into that, then I share with them, the various practices. And if they want to work with me more deeply, then I say, hey, if you're interested in this and you really like this, you find that you're getting value from this, I invite you to join the membership. And then I give them a discount for joining the membership, for participating in the challenge. And if they don't want to, it's cool because it's a win for them and it's also a win for me because now we can stay connected. I can
Yep.
figure out what it is that they do like, and they also got the free challenge, right?
Yep.
So it's a win-win. And they can always say, you know what, this challenge ain't for me, girl. Thank you, no thank you. And they can opt out of it at any time. So it's not like, I got your email address, I'm going to be bombarding you with all this information. It's
Yeah.
nothing like that at all. Like, I really take seriously, if someone entrusted me with their email, like, I'm only going to send them things that makes sense for what they opted in for, right? And
Absolutely.
so, like, there are some people on my list that get some pieces of email and some pieces of information, and others that get different pieces of information because they opt into different things.
Oh,
And the
okay.
more that I learn about them, the more I'll give them more or less things, right? And so that's really important to me because, again, getting someone's email is almost like getting like the keys to their home, so to speak, because I'm
Or
literally
their
coming into
YouTube
their
channel.
home. They're opening that email up. They're deciding to spend time with me via that email. And
Yes.
so I have to make sure that it's something that they really want.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And what I really like is that you hit on this, that going live every day gave you the chance to get that feedback. So you were actually finding
Yes.
out what was engaging people more. What did they like from you more, and what caused them to connect to you more. And then you can see with the emails which parts they're getting value from and which parts they're not. And so it's kind of like, if you don't get started and if you don't put any content out there, then you don't get any messages back as to what people want from you. So you're kind
You
of shooting yourself in the foot by not doing that, right?
you just I'm writing this down because I'm
Are
like,
you?
okay, I need to be sure to tell them this. So listen, one of the things that I learned, so there were a couple things, there's probably more, but two things so far. One is that the longer people watch my live stream, the more people opted into my freebie or my lead magnet. So that's
Right.
one thing.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing that I learned is that the more the people that were already on my email list, because I was sending them out notifications like, hey, I'm doing this yoga pose a day challenge.
Yes.
If you're interested, let me know because I will send you an email letting you know when I go live. If you don't want to get these daily emails about this yoga pose a day challenge, that's cool too. I'll take you off of this list. You'll still be on my email list, but I'm just not going to send you these daily emails because I know it can be a lot. So even like within the folks that I got their emails,
Yeah.
I like delineated it. Ugh, that was hard to say.
Good
More,
word.
so I can just send those people more
Right.
information about the challenge, right? And so those people who opted out, that way they didn't feel like, girl, there you go, sending me all these doggone emails. I just wanted to get the free reset, refresh yoga, right? So now I'm just like, and that's how I'm learning more and more about my audience, the people who are on my list, because those people who opted in for the yoga pose a day challenge, who are already on my email list, the engagement with that went up as well. So not only am I getting people who are new to my content, I'm also getting people who are already introduced to my content, reinterested, reinvigorated about what I'm offering,
yeah.
right? So I thought that was something that I didn't expect. I wanted to try it. I wanted to test it. And fortunately, it gave me some really good information about, how to more engage with the people on my list. The next time I do it though, what I'm going to do next time is offer them a weekly digest. So for example, you can get the daily email. These are for people who are already on my list. I know
Okay.
I'm getting like really granular here, but like
No,
my
this is
brain
good.
is like
This is good.
always like on this.
Yeah.
So the people who are already on my list, I'm going to say, hey, I'm doing this Breathe It Out challenge in May for Mental Health Awareness Month. I'm going to be going live 7 days. Would you like to be a part of this? Because if you do, I'm going to send you the post. I'm going to send you the link every day. And the other thing that I'm going to send, and this is what I learned. Also, I wish I had created a lead magnet. I wish I had created, and what I mean by a lead magnet, because that sounds really selfish to say, yeah, I wish I had a way to just kind of lead you into my world. I wish that I had created a guide for people to follow along with, right?
Oh,
So
okay.
if I knew that I was going to do a brand new post every day for 30 days, I wish that I had created, go into my Canva, go into my Google Docs or whatever it is, and created a guide. Today, day one, we're going to do mountain pose. this is what Mountain Pose looks like. This is the way, these are the key elements of Mountain Pose. This is how you should feel in your body. These are the benefits. And did that for every single pose in that challenge. So what
Right.
I've done for this next one, there's two things I'm going to change. One, I've already created a guide. So that's one, or the freebie, the lead magnet. And the other thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to offer them a digest. So for people who are already on my email list, I'm going to say, hey, I'm going to be doing this Breathe It Out challenge. If you want to be involved in it, I'll send you a link. Plus, I'll send you a free guide to follow along so you can get the best results.
Yep.
And then they'll be like, okay, but every day, girl. Then I'm going to say, but look, if you're interested but don't want to get the daily emails, let me know, and I'll send you a digest at the end of the challenge where you can get the guide plus all the classes in one tight little email.
Right.
And then the third option, I'm good. I'm on vacation. I ain't into that right now. Thank you, no thank you, but let's stay in touch, right?
Yeah.
So that way people are just like unsubscribing, because I didn't know this. Did you know this? Let me ask you. Did you know that you, just like a credit score, you have like an email score? Like if people don't open your email, the more likely your email to their spam folder or their promotion folder or their social folder. And so if you keep sending out these emails and people say like, you get like a 5%, for example, open rate in your emails, your email for sure is going to go into spam, right? And so that's why when I sent the email out, when I send my emails out, I'm looking to get my open rate above 50%.
Yep.
So that's why I give people the option. So if you want to be in this challenge, let me know, because I'm going to send it to you.
Yeah.
That means like you're going to open it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a really good point. I mean, one thing that I've done with my email list, I mean, A, I'm cheap. And B, I don't want people to be getting my emails who really don't want it. So I look through to see who haven't been opening, and then I just archive them. I take them off my list so that they don't count.
You give them the axe?
I give them the axe because I don't want to be that person, and I didn't know about this actual score, but I just thought, you know what, I'm going to feel better if I'm sending my emails out to people who are actually engaging with them. Yeah. So that's
you're
really
doing
interesting.
Something that's really smart and healthy for the growth of your email list. And the more people are more likely to act upon emails that are in their primary folder as opposed to obviously spam, social promotion, right? Yeah. So when you know, there's a thing that I'm said that I was going to do. I haven't done it yet because I've only been with Kajabi, say, just a few months. I said that I'm going to clean my email list every 6 months. So if they don't open my emails in 6 months, I'm going to just get rid of them. And that's the best thing you really can do, because it's just about having a large email list, just like it's not about having a large YouTube channel, but it's about how engaged those people are, you know? I got this email yesterday, or no, it was Monday. I got this email Monday from this woman that's been taking my class. She has this rare genetic disease. Her doctors told her that she would be in a wheelchair by the time she was 25. She's like 43 now. And she's been taking my classes. And it was like all the tears, I was like, oh my God, you don't realize like how you're touching people, how you're impacting people's lives. You can sometimes get so caught up in the numbers that you don't realize that your work is actually affecting people's quality of life, right? Yeah. And so that was huge.
Absolutely. I feel the same way, and I get things like that. There'll be somebody that I haven't heard from or haven't seen on a live stream or hasn't commented on a video for 6 months. And then suddenly they'll send me a DM in Discord and say, Keely, I got assessed last weekend and I've now been promoted to the next level. And this thing happened that you talked about in a video 3 months ago, and I nailed it and it felt great and the players were happy. And then like you, I am just boom, I am in tears. I am just shedding it all because it feels so good. And you don't get a lot of that feedback. I'd rather try to concentrate. And this is a little bit of a preview of what I'm going to talk about on Saturday for the second takeover show, is the notion of super fans and what those numbers really mean. So I hope you're going to be there. We're going to talk about it.
I would definitely be there.
Yeah.
That was so cool that happened to you though, because you know what's interesting is that sometimes we think it's the person that's always commenting in the chat, always leaving a comment, always maybe even sharing, but it's those silent people who are like diligently and intently
Yes.
locked into your content,
Doing the work.
that are like,
Yep.
those are the ones that are like, those people are golden.
Yep.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
those people are golden. That's cool that happened. Yeah.
There's been some great comments coming up, and I keep putting on the screen, and
Yes.
hope y'all know that we're not ignoring you. Kali and I are just amazing multitaskers, so I'm reading them as they're coming. I know Kali's reading them as they're going as well, but Kelly, yeah, if you sometimes get the you haven't opened an email in a while, and Kelly gets creeped out by that sort of thing.
I do too.
Yeah.
I do too.
Yes.
I don't like it when people do that.
And we know what it's like. I mean, we are avid consumers of educational mentorship membership products. You know, that's why we're here. We're in one together, and we know what the techniques are and what it's like. And that's why I think I know Alec is very much like this. I try to do it. It's when we have these email systems, and I don't like calling them funnels. I like calling them journeys and ways
Yes.
that we just say, hey,
That
we're
is
on
a
a trip.
friendlier name.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, we're on a trip together, and, you know, maybe you're going to be on this journey to go all the way down this path with me, or maybe you're going to stop off over there for a while. Maybe you might hit up a hotel for 2 weeks and have a resort stay, and then you'll come and join in again. You know, it gives you all these options instead of feeling like you're getting sucked into a vortex that you don't want to be a part of. So I really like that you're giving all these options and all that kind of stuff. Let's talk a little bit, because you've mentioned it a few times that Kajabi is your tool of choice. So how did you get into the Kajabi world, and what do you think it's really brought you in terms of being able to take your customers on this journey with you?
Yeah, very much like Ecamm, Kajabi is a very straightforward, simplified way of getting information out there. So with Kajabi, and I looked at a lot of different platforms. Like I am totally sold on Kajabi. And here's the thing, though I'm sold on Kajabi, it doesn't mean that I'm not open to something else. Like if someone says, I found this other thing and it works better than Kajabi, I'd be like, really? Show me, right? So what Kajabi is, it's an all-in-one platform for you to house your membership, your courses, your mini courses, your coaching, your podcast, your email list, your pipelines, or pipelines as they call them, or funnels, or user journeys as Keely has said. But it's all in one platform, so you can just put everything in that platform. Before I was using WordPress, and I was so frustrated with WordPress. It was like every time I would log into the back end, I would be like, okay, what disaster is waiting for me now? Like every single time, like I could feel it in my gut. Like there's going to be some BS here that I'm going to have to sort out, right? Because I'm going to have to figure out how to get my constant contact with my WooCommerce, with my this, that, and the other thing to kind of like communicate with each other. And if one of those things were broken, it took a while to figure out like who wasn't communicating with who, and why was it, and why did this not happen, and then who do I contact to get this thing back to going smoothly. So with Kajabi, it eliminated all of that because everything was baked into the system, right? Which is why, especially as a solopreneur, I needed something to be that simplified. Can WordPress do more? Absolutely. It could do a whole lot more. And if you have a team of people to make sure that it does that whole lot more, then that's cool for you. But for me, with Kajabi, I could just like, I wake up in the morning, I'm like, oh, I can't wait to go into my Kajabi. Like the way people like go on their phone and look at whatever, Instagram or whatever. Like I'm going to go into
Like
Kajabi.
me with Discord?
Like with Discord.
For me. Just
You
for
go
me.
into your
Nobody else
Kajabi.
loves it the way I do.
Yeah, right. People love going through the Discord. I love going to my Kajabi. And you go in there and it's like, you can figure out, you can see what's generating revenue, what's not generating revenue so much for you. What are some of the things that you can make better? And here's an example of what I'm talking about. When you want to send someone an email and you know that this email is about inviting them to participate in this free thing, and it may not have anything else attached to it. It may be simply a freebie with no journey or funnel or anything like that. It just may be simply a freebie. Sometimes you get a little like, how do I say that? Kajabi would be like, here, say this, and just put in your information to make it make sense for your customer.
Wow.
And I like that. I like getting the starter. Every single email template already doesn't have like, what is that? The lorem ipsum, da 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 da. No,
Yep.
it gives you like real words. Hey, friend, let me tell you, hey, did you know about this? Let me tell you why I do what I do. I do this because I've helped people just like do da 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 da. Now, obviously, that's like kind of like very vague, but you can go in there and be like, oh, yeah, I should tell them a little bit how I got into this work. Oh, I
Yeah.
should tell them a little bit more about how this is going to benefit them. Oh, yeah, I should ask them about what are they being challenged with right now. Kajabi gives you that template. Just plug in the information that makes sense for your audience and what your goals are. So that's just with on the email side. With the web, and now obviously Kajabi, you can build your website there, but you really honestly, you don't need a website to be generating revenue for your content. You don't need a website at all. What you do need are landing pages, and you also need a payment processor. So that can be Stripe, that can be PayPal. They're already baked in Kajabi. So when you have a landing page, so for example, if I'm going to say, hey, why don't you sign up for my 7-day yoga journey? Go to w7dayyogajourney.com. That's going to take them to a landing page. That's not a page that's on my website. It's a landing page. They can then sign up for the journey, and then it takes them into like, oh, beginner, intermediate, chair, or whatever. And then I can start to interact with them. So you like chair yoga? Let me share this with you. This might be something that's useful. The reason why this chair yoga class is because it's really great for my back without causing me to become fatigued in my shoulders or whatever it is that I want to say with them. So you can customize these user experiences all within Kajabi. I don't need to go to Constant Contact. I don't need to go to MailChimp. I don't need to send them, get them on this landing page here with whatever the landing page company you use, and then send them over here to MailChimp, and then send them over here to do, forget all that. You can just do it in one place. And it's so much easier that way. So can you imagine, I'm conducting a 30-day yoga challenge using Ecamm, setting up my scenes and all that stuff. Boom. Now I got to go over here and I got to deal with my platform where my website is hosted. I got to do with lead pages or whatever the thing. I got my Constant Contact, MailChimp, Drip, whatever, you name it. That would be just like too much. It would be too much for me. And my thing is about make this simplified, make this be smarter so that I can work less.
Yes.
That was a lot, but yeah, that's kind of how I think about it.
Oh, I love it though. I love it. And if for those of you, if you're wondering if you want to learn some more about Kajabi, obviously Kali is in the Discord all the time. And one thing I love that you've been doing is that you're going into the co-working room and you're posting saying, hey, y'all, I'm going into the co-working room. Do you want to look over my shoulder and watch me build a funnel for this?
Yeah.
And you know, you're showing things as you go. And actually, I took that as inspiration to do that in my Discord server, where I set things up and I show them in a spin session and I just sort of talk through it because, you know, oftentimes I'm like, oh, that didn't work. I have to try something else. And I'm troubleshooting as I go. I'm learning as I go, but people can watch me do it so that when they go to set something up in their server, it takes them half the time, you know? So you inspired me to do that, to be completely
That's so
honest.
cool. I mean, again, that's the benefit of the community, right?
Yes.
Is that we can inspire each other and be like, oh, well, I can do that same thing, but I can do it with my Discord thing because that's my jam, you know? And again, this stuff would not be happening unless we were in community with each other, you know?
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
what I love.
Yeah, there was a...
You know, I wanted to say...
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I
Okay,
was just
I'll
gonna
go.
say,
Fine,
you know,
I'll go first. I'm the host. I get to go first. I was watching Colin and Samir's interview with the 4 kids that are living together. And what did they call it? Something not your mama's house, or I can't remember. Somebody will know in the chat. And I think it's been around in the Discord server. People have been posting the link. But they talked about it. Mr. Beast has talked about it recently as well, where they said, you know, here's the thing. If you go for a year as a creator and you try this and you fail and you make this mistake and you get some traction and you're doing all that, that's great. But if you are in a group, a mastermind, perhaps a drop squad, where you're all doing these things in different ways as you're going on the journey, but you get to learn from everybody else as you go. Everybody is going to go on their journey faster. And I'm starting to hear this message over and over again and think, man, we really need to get this out there and really encourage people that this is what these squads can do for us, is help us. And it's not that we're like, yay, Kali's made a mistake. No, it's that, we're like, yeah, that sucks, but we all get to learn from you and you get to learn from our mistakes. And then we all get to push faster. So I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. I mean, that living vicariously through each other's experience and journey, like totally helps us to all move forward faster, more efficiently,
Yeah. Luis is just asking about the creator houses, and literally these four, I'm calling them kids because I'm 50, but these four 20-somethings all moved in together who were friends. And their goal was to sort of create this, commune of creativity. They all had their own channels and their own brands, but there was some nice symbiosis between them. I'll find the link and put it in the Discord later, and we can talk about that more. But everybody hit the like button.
That's the beauty of the community that Doc has created too, because that we can all benefit from all the work that each of us are doing. So when we have those Saturday sessions, my boyfriend knows that Saturday is all about this Doc LGL community.
Yep.
Don't talk to me about nothing else, because this is what it's all about, right? And it's what feeds me. It puts the battery in my back, this community, and it keeps me just keep moving along, and I love that. I was going to mention that the thing is that I use Kajabi, right? Because I find it to be a simplified way for me to do the stuff that I need to do to get my content out there, to monetize my content. And keep in mind, you guys, I have a super small channel. I have less than I'm coming up in 2,000. And my goal is to really make that my channel to be the little channel that could, right?
Yes.
So everything is intentional. It's not just about getting a whole bunch of views on this particular video or all that, though I absolutely want a lot of people to do it. It only makes sense as long as those people are also converting and moving into my email list and wanting to work with me more intimately. But people who don't, they still get the benefit of that content too. So and win. It's me being able to give the free content on the one side, and then the other side also being able to get people who want to work more intimately with me to be able to do so,
Yeah.
There was something I was going to say, but I got that 50-something mind and it went out the window.
I interrupted you. That was the problem. That was me. It'll probably come back to you in about 10 minutes.
I know what I was going to say. Okay. I know what I was going to say. I use Kajabi, but when I do that stuff in the Discord, when I say, hey, come look over my shoulder, you can use whatever it is that you want to.
Mm-hmm.
You can use Teachable, all the other stuff. It's going to be a challenge, and you're going to have to translate it into that language, and you're going to have to connect it to this, that, and the third. But the copywriting still makes sense no matter what challenge or no matter what platform you're using.
Right.
The creating an email sequence, even if you're using Gmail, you're still going to need to do that no matter what platform you're using. You're still going to need to be able to send them to a landing page, no matter what landing page software platform you're using.
Absolutely.
You're still going to need all that stuff. So that's why I do the whole look over my shoulder, because I'm like, hey, you can still benefit from this no matter what you're using.
Yeah.
I just happen to use Kajabi because I love it and it's easy.
Yeah. It's not about what buttons you're pushing. It's about what ideas you're implementing. And the software is just a tool for that. So I really like that. I pulled up your YouTube on the screen because here's Kelly going, what? 2K is small, but you've had some really nice growth over the last little while. And I wanted to know, and feel free to share whatever you feel is relevant for people and you improve. But I put the whole 10X, how to grow your channel 10X, because my other boyfriend, Ed, of Film Booth, he told me that you have to put 10X in your channels. So I do what I'm told. I'm very, very trainable. And so I was like, I'll put 10X and see what happens. So what actual, what do you feel are your most important results that you got out of doing CETA?
The most important result is to be able to pivot on a dime, right? My word for the season of spring is nimble. So that's why when the CETA challenge came up, I was like, okay, this is a chance to show that I can be nimble, right? That was the biggest takeaway for me, that I can be nimble. So now that I'm nimble, I went to, my content creator coach, Doc Rock, and he was like, okay, so now what you should focus on is discovery, because you have content out there. Now let's get you discovered. And so now that is what my focus is for this challenge that I'm going to be doing next week. The Breathe It Out challenge is to put content out there for discovery, and not just discovery on YouTube, but also doing those Breathe It Out challenges like on Facebook, on an Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, all that stuff.
Yep.
I dusted off my LinkedIn, was able to remember what email account was attached to my LinkedIn. The picture on my LinkedIn, I looked like a baby, so I've got to update all that stuff.
Oh,
I
know.
found out is that in LinkedIn, that they need content out there. Like what we're doing here in LGL, like it is like head and shoulders above what's currently out there. So I feel like it's an open area for us to go in there with some stuff. So I'm going to do this stuff for discovery and all these other platforms, because again, I would love to my financial goals and still have a small channel. That's what I would love to do. Like have a super small, tight channel, but hit all of my financial goals, right?
Yeah.
Because for me, YouTube is not just about a vanity thing. It's really like I'm a mama, 3 kids, doing it all on her own. Like I need to make this thing work for us, right? It doesn't matter if I have 1 billion, people who subscribe to my channel. I need to make this work for us so that we can fly,
Yeah, absolutely. Eileen here is just saying that she's just starting to focus on LinkedIn too. And it's something that, I mean, boy, for years I've been like, LinkedIn is a resume site. I hate it. It sucks. And I'm still a little curmudgeonly about it. So Eileen, as curmudgeonly as you've been about Discord, that's how I feel about LinkedIn. So it's pretty significant. But I am starting to realize, because as tiny as I am and as a little content as I've put out about Discord, I had a cold contact last week. Somebody out of the blue just messaged me and said, hey, I'm interested in learning more about LinkedIn or more about Discord. What are your rates? I'm like, what is this? Clients are falling out of the sky? Like, this is great. So I'm like, okay, fine. LinkedIn is going to be something that I have to do.
Those clients that fall out of the sky, those are the best.
Aren't they great? Aren't they great? Ruth loves LinkedIn. She's telling us all. Yeah. So
Ruth, tell me more about what you love about LinkedIn. I'm curious.
Yeah.
Eileen just did a really cool video about LinkedIn Live, which I was like, Eileen, the queen is reading my mind.
Right? I know. And one thing I've been seeing a lot of with the tools that are out there, I've been getting into Hype Fury in the last few weeks. I haven't taken the full plunge into their. Yeah, I don't want to misstate it, but they are a content, regeneration and auto posting sort of tool that I think really comes in handy with Twitter and LinkedIn primarily.
What are they called again?
Hype Fury. I have an affiliate link already, so I'll hand it to you later. I think it's discordforcreators.com Hype Fury /Hype Fury. Maybe a mod can type that out for me. I'm too busy talking. But what they can do is that you can create the same content and you can have a library of things that you can auto schedule, that like you could with Agorapulse and what a lot of people like Eileen do already, getting their stuff out there. But you can reformat that same content that you put onto Twitter and format it better for LinkedIn. And then if a certain piece gets a certain level of engagement, you can follow it up in the thread with another post saying, and if you liked this, because 50 people did like it, you might want to check out this thread or this lead magnet or this. So there's some really neat tools in there that I'm starting to learn about. And if that can make it less painful for me to go on LinkedIn, I'm all for it. I think that would really,
because it's all about it being less painful, for sure, right?
Oh,
for sure.
Yeah, there is some definite pain level there. There's Mike saying he doesn't even have 300 subs, but 3 people used his affiliate link for Google. Google Fi so far. Crazy, but cool. Yeah, I've been telling everybody. Right. So Kali, I know you've been checking out the whole eyelash thing, but I'm now up to like $200, 200 freedom dollars. Just for my lashes.
What?
And nothing for anything else, really. So
But
apparently
you know what's
these
so
sell.
interesting? I love that because I found out, and I feel like I shared this with you before, but if not, I got a new mattress during COVID because I decided that I was going to catch up on all this sleep that I missed out on pre-COVID. So I
Mm-hmm.
got a brand new mattress, and I was like, you know what? I love this mattress. Like thinking about going to bed, it just makes me happy because my mattress is just so wonderful. So I was like, wait a minute, let me see, do they have an affiliate link? And I be doggone, they have an affiliate link. So this is the plan. I need y'all to hold me to this. Once I become an affiliate for this mattress company, I'm going to make this series of sleep yoga for sleep videos, right? Does that make sense?
Yes. Oh my
Because
God,
I'm like,
totally.
every single thing that because we use our hands are on so many things that we use and that we love. Like I love my Vitamix. Like when I got a divorce, I was like, give me my kids and my Vitamix, right?
Yeah, you
It's
keep
like
everything
those are the
else.
things that like
I did the same thing.
keep everything else, but I'm taking that Vitamix and I'm taking these 3 kids. But like there are things that we totally love and like promote without being compensated for at all, right?
Yep.
And so why not? If we love them, why not, say, hey, and this is my affiliate link. This
Yeah.
is going to help me to continue to create this content for you that you love so much.
Absolutely. Glenda telling you it's a genius idea. It really is. And that synergy really, really makes sense. One of the struggles that I've had is that with my FH Umpires channel is that there's not a lot of things that are affiliate, like it's not a product-based thing that I'm doing.
Yes.
So I was kind of hoping with Discord for Creators, there would be some more direct tie-ins and things like that. But Discord isn't the kind of place where, bot makers don't have affiliate links to affiliate programs at all and things like that. So I'm still trying to navigate my way around that. But you're absolutely right. If it's something that you absolutely love, like I love my lashes. I love the system. I love the fact that I can do it myself. And during COVID, I spent about 6 months where all my like individual extensions fell out and then I had no lashes and I was going live and I'm like, no, this is unacceptable.
I remember, yes, I should say I remember for you, but I remember when my lashes fell off at COVID and I was like, man, what's the best mascara?
Right?
Out
Yeah.
there.
And you were probably using Kiss Me mascara and we were doing all those things, but I was having, there was this one stream I did and it was so embarrassing. My guest was this very, very popular, I basically call him the Crown Prince of English hockey. He is, he's a commentator and so I had him on so he could speak about commentating about games and his perspective on the rules and how he studies them, all that kind of stuff. And he's kind of cute. And so there I was. I'd gotten myself
Is he
made
like
up.
Justin Brown, Tom Buck cute?
Yeah, like totally on that level.
Oh,
Right? And the accent and everything. And there I am. And about 15 minutes into the show, I look and I realize that I'm starting to get black lines, just these little black lines under my
No.
eyes that are traveling further and further down my face. And I'm like,
Not
this
for
is the
cute guy.
worst. Oh my God. I'm so embarrassed. And so I'd like try to rub it away and then it would reappear. Oh man. These
Oh my
are
God. Not in front of
friction
the cute
points,
guy, though.
people.
Man.
These are friction points for women going live. And I wish I could just not worry about all that stuff, but I guess I'm not that kind of person.
Man.
Kind of
I mean, I actually, I'm concerned about it, but it's just I'm still trying to make the mascara work, but I just, every once in a while, I just do one of these. you know,
Yeah. Just
make
the subtle
sure.
dab. You're like,
just little, just a little dab. Try to do it as discreetly as possible.
oh my gosh. Sorry. This was a truly Doc Rock-worthy tangent where we just
Eyeglass
started talking
tie-in.
about.
Woohoo!
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
what Linda just said.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm finding ways because I'm still really freaked out. Mike, hockey players have that blackout below their eyes, so I think I'm good. Yeah. I don't think it quite worked the way that I wanted, but I appreciate the bolstering there. There you go. And Dina's hooked now. I got her on Lashify
She is
several
hooked.
months ago, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm all in. I'm all in on this."
She
So.
is hooked, and your lashes and Dina's lashes, they look amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I am afraid to add like one more thing into my regimen. Like
Yeah.
I feel like right now I'm just like right there. I'm nice and balanced. Can I add lashes? Can I add lashes? I know it's coming, but like right now, I feel like that one lash is gonna make me just like fall over. So I'm
Yeah, I can feel this corner
trying to make
dipping
sure I
as you're
got my
talking.
footing.
Yeah, but to tie this back into actual live streaming as well, if you're all wondering what the heck this all means, that's kind of like everything with live streaming, is that you can see other people out there and think, oh, I love how Keely's got music going in her background, or she's got a background moving, or oh, Kali's got these 2 camera angles now. I should really add that too.
Mm-hmm.
But that could be just the one thing that you don't need that creates the friction for you to continue streaming, to continue getting that feedback from your audience, and to continue honing your craft, which is far more important than any accessory or camera angle or set of lashes that you can put on, right? So I'm tying it all back. How was
You
that?
did a good job on that one. You did a really good job tie-in. I'm impressed. I am thoroughly impressed. That was a really great tie-in. I'm surprised. I'm totally blown away by that.
Oh, I do this all the time. I think it's because I watch so many live streams now that I just am automatically thinking, okay, how can I make this into a coaching story? How can I generate that? That was awesome. And Obs is in. She's all in. She's like, preach. That's me.
Obs is in.
I don't know. She's
Is that
just
what I'm
excited
understanding?
about everything. Maybe with lashes. Who knows? Obs, do you want lashes? Let me know.
Obs,
We'll talk about them.
Keely has an affiliate link for Lashify for you. So
I do. It's
stand by.
there.
It's coming your way.
And I think the discordforcreators.com/Lashify would work too. So I've
Say
created.
that one more time for those in the back.
discordforcreators.com/Lashify. There you go. Oh, there we go. Very nice. Okay. And Glenda had to wear all the lashes all the years when you were modeling and you don't have the energy for them anymore. I know. Yeah. And what it comes down to is, as Ruth is saying, do you and be you. Absolutely. So Kali, you've mentioned it a couple times. You've got something coming up that ties into Mental Health Awareness Month, which is something I don't think there's anybody who would be in this crowd who isn't touched by this personally. There's something that I want to mention publicly right now because I feel like this is the right time, and I want to show you guys I'm willing to be vulnerable about this, is that I've just started on antidepressants in the last little while. And I know you might think, what the hey, here I am all energetic and stuff like that. But like a lot of people, we struggle in the background and we put our face forward, but we might be dealing with things. And when something like this comes up and it's awareness of mental health, you do feel like you can talk about it a little bit more. And I don't think I would have been able to say that out loud if I didn't know that you were going to be doing a breathing challenge, which I'm really excited to learn about now. So tell us about what you're going to do for this 7 days, because I'm going to be all over that.
Yeah, it's 7 days, and the more that I've talked to people about it, I'm considering making it longer.
Okay.
There's certainly going to be a breathe it out part of it. That's going to be 7 days. That's going to be starting on Monday. And you can find it on the Chocolate Fish Yoga YouTube channel. I hope you all involved. I've been talking to a few friends of mine who are therapists, and I'm thinking about bringing them on because they come from different perspectives and angles. And I really want to just have like some conversation with them, engage them in live conversation, take questions and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that we are finally in the age where we can blow off and remove the whole stigma attached to mental health, mental wellness, and mental illness. And I think that we're finally in that phase. With all the craziness that's going on in our world right now, that is one thing that I think that we are finally brave enough as a culture to address, right? I started taking anti-anxiety medication during COVID. And I knew that I needed it before. I knew I needed some type of help. And I think part of my path in yoga was as a way not just to share the practice, but I also think it was a way for me to treat my own issues, right?
Right.
And it was a time where I was talking to my son about mental health and mental health challenges within our family. And when I shared with him my challenges, it was like there was a, you could see the relief, the deep sigh of relief that overcame him, because he felt more comfortable sharing what his challenges are and whether or not he needed to get some type of professional intervention, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think about just like the generation prior, right? Like mental health. You better get up and go to work. You better get up and do this. You better keep
Yep.
on moving. You must have too much time on your hands, or whatever, whatever we were told, by, people older, our elders, whatever we were told, even by our peer group, our teachers, our mentors, or whatever. Mental health was not a thing. That was always something that somebody else dealt with, right?
Yeah.
So we were always taught to kind of just like push it under the, brush it under the carpet, brush it under the rug, so to speak. And I wanted to do this mental health challenge because it gives people easy to do exercises that they can do anywhere at any time. It's only going to be 15 minutes a day for 7 days, starting on Monday, going through to Sunday, that they can do anywhere, anytime. It's also for young people too. You don't have to be, an adult. These are also useful exercises that, your children can do. In fact, what's even cool, at least here at LAUSD, we're starting to see how mindfulness is being integrated within the curriculum. And
Really?
that's really good.
Oh.
Yeah, we're finally seeing that.
Wow.
Finally seeing it. Now it's still kind of fringe, but at least it's not something that is like so fringe to like keep that away from us. It's sort of like, let's figure out how to make this more available to all of our students as well as the teachers. So that's what's happening with the Breathe It Out challenge. You can find it on YouTube. It's going to also be in my Instagram. It's going to also be in my Facebook and on LinkedIn. So it's going to be multiple ways that you can participate.
And there it is, just down below, Kali. If there's some reason that you don't know, you can find her at youtube.com/chocolate twist yoga. That is where you can find her. And I would really recommend to people, if you didn't get a chance to see any of the 30-day pose a day challenge videos live, now, I was around for a lot of them, first of all, because I was moderating, but also just because I found, oh, yeah, you're welcome. But I loved, even when I wasn't available to actually do the exercises, which sometimes I did, just kind of on the side, on the down low, don't tell anybody. But sometimes even just listening to your voice and going through the process, you would talk about breathing, and suddenly I'd be like, okay, I'm going to box breathe for a second. And just those little moments, a little moment is enough to make a difference in how you feel and how you approach things. So if you haven't seen any of those videos, go back and pick a few of them out. And it would also be interesting for people to see you in the beginning and then see maybe how you evolved your approach over those 30 days and that sort of thing. And that might give you a little bit of a warm up before you go into this mental health challenge starting on Monday. But I absolutely love it. Hey, don't you be telling people my secrets. Kali, you and I have talked about this, but I actually, was I in my 30s
Doc
at
is
that
here.
time? Yeah, I know. The boss is here. I'm trying to ignore him.
The takeover is real.
Oh, this is weird. It says Doc Rock, but it's me. It's my face.
What?
Doc, you got a lot hotter. How did that happen? I don't know what's up. Doc, look, I'm using the thing you taught me. It worked. So Doc showed me how to use this web widget.
That is a trip.
A month ago. And then, yeah, I know that looks really kind of scary. But anyway, yeah, in my 30s, I did yoga every day or 6 days a week for 3 years. And I was managing a yoga studio. So I come correct. Like, this is a part of my, part of my background.
It, man.
There you go.
I believe it.
But there you go. Everybody's laughing.
My parents do yoga. My kids used to do it. They're teenagers now. Well, I have one son that's in his 20s, but they're young people now, and they're not really into it because I think it's cool.
Oh,
because
yeah.
I think it's cool. There's no way that they can think it's cool.
No.
So, but I just feel like I planted the seed. It's always there for them to go back to when they're ready. So. I think the world of yoga, and I mentioned that, I think that part of me getting into yoga, in fact, I am certain that if they had ADHD diagnoses when I was a kid, I definitely would have been diagnosed as ADHD. My parents were so incredibly patient with me, climbing into cabinets, climbing into trees, doing all kinds of things, just not being able to be still.
Yeah.
And I think that being able to like find yoga at such an early age, it really helped me a lot. And for me, because there's different types of mindfulness. You can meditate, you can do seated practice, you can do qigong, you can do tai chi. For me, with yoga, it was a way for me to get the wiggles out, as my therapist friend says, to get the wiggles out while at the same time getting a mindfulness practice in, so that I can merge these two things with, physical, literally making it a movement meditation.
Yeah.
So with the Breathe It Out challenge, you're going to really get like the foundation of what mindfulness is about. I'm going to even be on the eCam channel this Thursday. I believe it's the 19th. So for those of you who are interested, come to the eCam channel on the 19th. I don't think Doc would mind me mentioning this. And I believe it's at 4 p.m. Pacific. And we're going to do a mindfulness practice. We're going to learn a little bit more about mindfulness. So if you're not sure what it's about, it would be a great time for you to come in, and I'm going to hold space for you. And we're going to move through a mindfulness practice, and it's going to be bomb.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. And the thing for me that I think is very cool, you talked about how, when you were growing up, you were all over the place, and I was less physically all over the place, but mentally and emotionally, I had a tough time with self-regulation. I was very, very quick to anger. I know that would shock many of you who know me from not being alive. I got a bit of a temper sometimes. And so I remember back in junior high and high school even, but mostly in junior high, our drama teacher was a super woo-woo lady. Like, she was like way out there. She didn't even use anesthetic when she went to the dentist, because she could just meditate herself into her pain management. Oh yeah, she was that kind of lady. And she led us through relaxation exercises every drama class. And really, it's a form of yoga, or yoga can be a form of relaxation or whatever. But those skills that you learn at those points in your life, and that 3 years I did yoga in my 30s, that's never gone away. That is always accessible to me.
Right.
And there might be a morning I'll wake up and I'm a little, creakier than usual. And I'll say, you know what? I'm not doing yoga, but I'm going to do a sun salutation. Or I'm like, yeah, just a downward dog would feel good right now. And you just do it.
Just a down dog.
It's no big thing. It's no big thing. It's just a down dog. Absolutely. Because sometimes I get a little wrapped up in my head, like, I don't have time for a yoga practice. But, a down dog would be good. Or, I really love, Warrior 3. I'm just going to pop one of those out and that sort of thing. So that's the thing, is that yoga can be available for you in so many different contexts. It can be breathing at your desk. It can be, a simple chair twist. It can be that sun salutation first thing in the morning. It can be going and looking at a couple of Kali's pose videos and just learning something else. Oh, I'm going to learn something new about a forward bend. And now that's available to me whenever I want it. So
it's interesting that you say that, because a lot of people say to me, oh, I don't do yoga because I'm not flexible. And I'm like, that means that yoga is absolute. Because the people who are like naturally flexible, they don't really have a clear sense of like what their limit is, what their edge is. But the person who is not as flexible, they're going to be able to find their edge a lot quicker, and then be able to play that edge a bit more effectively, a bit more efficiently. So for example,
I'm all edge is what you're saying. Okay.
Say that again?
I'm all edge then is what you're saying.
No. I swear.
I'm not flexible.
I'm saying it about you specifically. What I'm suggesting is that yoga can be available to anyone. It doesn't matter your flexibility, your age, your size, your shape, any of those things. All of the things that the media has put out there about what a yogi looks like, those are all complete and absolute lies.
Yes.
Absolutely a lie. Because anyone can do yoga. It's about finding the yoga practice and the yoga, this style of yoga that works for you and your body, your needs. Because if you have, say, for example, if you have arthritis, for example, if you have osteoarthritis versus rheumatoid arthritis versus gout, you're going to be doing 3 different types of yoga, right? A person who is this type of yoga that I do now as a middle-aged woman is completely different than what I did 20 years ago. It's completely different than what I did 30 years ago. Like, yoga can change with you. It's not meant to be like, this is the way to do yoga. This is the only way to do yoga.
Yeah.
And the way that it's pictured in this publication, I've almost called out a name of a publication, but I'm going to
It's okay.
let me not call them out right now, because that's not what this is about. But I share this with you because as I've gotten older, there used to be times where people would be like, "Oh, girl, you're in such great shape. Oh, girl, you're doing great. I want to do that too. I want to do that too." And I kid you not, as time has gone by, I have seen how people keep saying, "I'm going to, I want to, I'll be doing your, I'm going to," and now it's like we're getting to the place in life where it's like, I wish I had. I should have done this. I could have done more. You know, and I don't want to see that for folks, right? Because we have the tools right here available. Like YouTube makes everything so available to us. Everything so available to us. Now, it's not going to be like YouTube is going to be something that's going to be enduring for you, but it certainly can introduce you. It can certainly get you on the right foot, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. I can tie this back to streaming and eCam as well. And
let's see you do this. Let's see it happen. Let's see this happen.
So just like it is that yoga doesn't have to fit a box, you don't have to be a white blonde woman with her Lululemon tights and have all of her strap equipment and, you know, walking into the yoga studio and having your set schedule. You don't have to do any of that. You don't have to create content in any kind of box. You can do it the way that fits your message, your community, and your purpose. And see it as a way that you can throw yourself, or a creator challenge like that is a way that you can throw yourself into an environment where you force yourself to get the feedback. And then you find out, yes, like Kali, you've got some big messages now that you know that this is something that your community really galvanized to. For me, it wouldn't have worked the same way. I would have had to do something very different. And I don't think daily is something I could even do with my audience anyway, because I was doing 4 days a week back in 2020 and they were like, Keely, enough. Girl, we've had enough of you. So, you know, you get the opportunity to practice creation the way that it fits for you. And it's always available, but don't be, as Kali's saying, don't be that person who says, I wish I had. You know, be the person who's like, I'm doing it now. I'm doing it now.
I'm doing it now. And join this doggone LGL community, because if you're sitting on the fence wishing, I think I could, maybe I can. No, join this LGL community, rub shoulders with us, get it, put your hands in the same soil, and then you're going to start to get and grow your vision and actualize it and bring it to life. Because the thing is that we cannot be so selfish, so self-absorbed that we think that our content is about us. We need to get out of our own way, because the message that we have is really not about us. The message that I have to share about yoga is not about me. The message that you have to share about Discord is not about you. Field hockey is not about you. Silver Lining Home is a perfect example of this. The message that we're sharing is like this much about us, but the vast majority of it is about the community that is seeking and craving that information, right? Yep. And once we can really like flip the switch on that, the more useful our impact will make, and the more important and the more impactful our legacy will be.
Absolutely. Yeah. Wow. I'm just how you like that? I needed to annotate that with a little tune, because I think we really kind of wrapped up all of what we've talked about all in one amazing yellow chocolate twist yoga shaped bow. Because just tying it all together, I just loved it all. So if you haven't gotten all the links, you know, make sure that you check again in the description. There's Kali's 7-day challenge. There's her Kajabi links if you're interested in taking a look and seeing if you can use that. Get in touch with her in the Discord server, in the LGL Discord server, and ask her questions and find out when she's doing her next over-the-shoulder thing, because I think it's a really valuable way that you can get ideas. It's not about copying what she's doing, but she's going to inspire you with ideas of how you can turn something into a next step for your community and your creation process. So make sure that you tune into that. I know, don't you love that bias for action phrase? I
love that bias for
absolutely
action. I love that.
Yeah.
May I
you
share
bet.
one thing, one more thing?
Please do.
I want to share with you, and this live stream is going to live on Doc's channel as long as he will have it live in his channel for, indefinitely. But right now, if you are interested in Kajabi, you can join for $5 for your first 5 weeks. And each day you'll get a 5-minute task, a task that will take you 5 minutes to do to get you up and running and monetize within 5 weeks. So the pinch of whatever Kajabi costs doesn't hit you, that you're actually making more than that. So
Wow.
if you've ever thought about Kajabi, this is a really great time to do so. There's a link somewhere around in the chat or the description or somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
This is how I got involved with Kajabi. I got in on one of those challenges that they did, and I was able to monetize where I never had to come out of pocket for Kajabi. So I highly recommend to take a look at it. And here's the thing, you can end Kajabi in 5 weeks and you pay no more than the $5, right? If you find like, oh, this ain't for me, you can tap out and be like, okay, you got my $5, you got me. But then that's it, right? So I highly recommend it because of how simplified it is, how able you're easily to get your content out there in front of your audience, monetize, and you can continue to make content without having to be punched in the face by WordPress every time you want to do something. That seemed a bit extreme, but that's how I felt every time I had to log into the back end of my WordPress. I was like, here we go again. You want that BS.
You aren't wrong. I have a WordPress site and I run it, and you're right. It is like getting punched in the face. I'm actually trying to get some people in my community to help me with it. And I can't even figure out how to give them proper access without opening up the doors entirely.
Right.
And it's being punched in the face by. Oh.
I mean, why not make delivering your content to your community fun? Like,
Yeah.
It's like so much fun going into Kajabi. Just like it's so much fun building scenes and overlays in Ecamm, it's so much fun creating these user journeys in Kajabi. It's so much fun creating these landing pages for your freebies, your lead magnet. It's so much fun creating this stuff in Kajabi, and they make it so beautifully. They lay it out so beautifully, and it's so easy. You can be like, oh, I don't like that. Delete it and create it just as easy again, right? And every time you go in there, there's just more to discover without being so intimidating. I can go on and on about Kajabi. If you guys want more of this stuff on Kajabi, by the way, I'm setting up a new YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/Kali Simplified Academy, where you're going to be able to like look over my shoulder in the YouTube channel. So you can subscribe there. I would love if you
can't hang with the
I would
big
love
dog,
if
stay
you-
on the porch, blow the whistle.
I had to bring out the too short. I am
Wait a
so
minute, is
excited
Goddess
you're
Garden
finally
here?
doing
Because
it.
Goddess Garden loves her some too short.
Yeah,
Goddess
there
Garden
you go.
yoga.
Absolutely.
But you can
love
subscribe to that channel and learn more about, my whole journey, because it will be some about Kajabi, but it's also just about simplified tools that you can do to get your message out there and monetized and living the good life.
Oh, absolutely.
That's all I got to say.
That's all you got to say. I'm wrapping up, and then you're like, "Oh, I got a few bombs still left in my shelter here."
That's it.
Bang!
That's it.
Bang!
That's it.
Bang! Oh my goodness, I am so excited. It sounded like you. Doc is still listening in. I am so happy, and you're joining the 2-channel crew, so you and I can, hang out and lament over what it's like to have a split personality, because I'm still trying to figure all that out. Yeah, Goddess Garden Yoga's in it. I love it. And here is the link. This is awesome. I can't wait. I'm going to go back and I am going to subscribe to this. I'm really starting to think about this, because now that I do so much of my FH Umpires work in my Discord server, the website is just... It's a storage place and a resource access for these materials that I create for my community. So I have a clip library that has all these, it's a custom post type in WordPress and blah, 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 blah. But boy, it's a lot of website for that function. And if Kajabi could do that for me,
Let me tell you, we'll have to talk more, because you can still have a front-facing WordPress site and the back end be completely Kajabi.
Yeah.
right? All the landing pages, all the emails, all the other stuff, the payment, the podcast, all that stuff could all be Kajabi. And a lot of people do that because like people who work for like, I'm just pulling this out, this is going to date me. If you like work for Mary Kay, you probably have to have like a WordPress site, but you can like put all stuff, the easy stuff as Kajabi and all that integration and stuff through Kajabi. And then you can make it even flyer by getting like Zapier and like getting other integrations and stuff. Like I said I was going to stop talking about Kajabi for now, but y'all can find me in the LGL Discord and I'll be talking about Kajabi and on the Kajabi Simplified Academy on YouTube.
I love it. Yeah,
Trying
you're
to
like,
talk
I
about
don't really
Kajabi
know if I
anymore.
should talk about Kajabi today. And I'm like, Kali, I'm pretty sure you're going to talk about Kajabi no matter what. So there you go.
I'm biting
No.
my lips right now because I could go.
Save it for the follow-up. Save it for the sequel. We need more of this. I'm so appreciative of all the time that you spent with us. And I learned a ton, and I think everybody else in the crowd learned a bunch too. And just hearing about the
Thank you for having
purpose, the purpose that you applied yourself to the CETA challenge, that is what turned it into just an amazing experience for you, an incredible way for your community to get to know you better, to get more engaged with everything that you're doing. So, and I'm so proud of you. You're in my mastermind, and I'm just so proud. So it's awesome.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. Okay, so Saturday we are going to talk more about community, still on this theme, and we're going to talk more about super fans. So I hope you join in for that. It's going to be whatever I make it in the next 3 days. It's going to be amazing. There you go. So thank you very much. Getting lots of love. Great live. Thank you very much. Passionate. Yeah, saving it for the follow-up. You're all over the place. You're there. Thank you so much, everybody. And don't forget Saturday, and then Doc Rock will be back next Tuesday. Take care, everybody, and have a good one. Bye.